From now on, you only talk to Athena and Sage. No talking to any of the single dudes.
Jesus God, are you that insecure?
Hello friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact. Truly it is. Go ahead, look it up if you want. Today I'm back with some more Funky P being. We're in part number 6. Yeah, it's just clicking by. I've been doing it consistently every single week in the middle of the week, and I hope that you're loving it. It started out like super degenerate, and then, I don't know, some of the degenerates started to grow on me a little bit, as tends to happen from time to time. Oh well, it be what it be. Let's not waste any more time. We will jump into this thing and see how it goes today. 2 girls, 1 milksop. Funky P Beard, part 6. I don't know if we could say that word this early in the video. I'm posting these chapters back to back because I realized that the previous chapter ended on a pretty lame cliffhanger. I mean, yeah, it did, but we made it work. Apologies. As always, if you're new here, welcome! You might regret it. Less and less, actually. You'd be surprised. In case you need a cast refresher, I'll give you the basics. Val is ROP, overly tolerant, and feeling trapped in a loveless relationship with Funky P Beard, who is an unremittingly enraged alcoholic psycho. But I have a growing crush on Axton, an attractive and legitimately kind guy. Sage and Athena are a couple, and they host the gaming weekend. Sage is protective of Athena, and he's super into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Snorlax is smoking a bowl and laughing it off while chaos erupts around him. Again, Snorlax, my spirit animal. Mori is the kinky game master, who is usually able to handle Funky's bunkum. Yeah, and his bum.
My bum is on the gum. My bum is on the gum. I can blow a bubble with my bum.
Chapter 6, 2 girls, 1 cuck. Who's it gonna be when she says that? It can only be Funky P, right? I guess we'll have to find out. Trigger warning for mild violence and profanity. Funky has just stormed out to throw a temper tantrum on the back porch because Mori did something pervy. As he does. It was the exact same pervy crap that Funky did to me the previous night, but Mori's attempt to give Funky a taste of his own medicine was lost on the Rage Beast. The rest of us are trying to stay out of the line of fire. With all that out of the way, let's return to the war room. OP says, is he always like this during gaming weekends, or is all of this my fault? Athena, he's always ranting and raving about his crusade of the week, and he usually gets into a screaming match with Mori over something dumb, but this really is some next level rage. Sage to Athena, you told Athena? She knows, babe. She already knew. Sage, okay, sorry about that, by the way. OP, it's fine, it's really nothing new. And everybody knew what it was. The instant it happened, I'm like, okay. I called it out. You'd have to be real big dumb not to see something like that. Sage, we actually weren't even sure you were real until you walked in yesterday. Are you cool with Funky's activities, or should we stop talking about it? I shook my head. I choose not to let his activities have any bearing on my life. Oh yeah, it's a good relationship. Solid foundation. Really, the only reason OP's still here is because she's scared to leave. Sage says, okay. Well, he usually has some nasty chick come over on Friday or Saturday, and they go do whatever they do. And then he comes back either completely chill or completely enraged and fucking rank. This rage might just be pent up energy. Is Sage asking our OP in a sidelong way to go bang her boyfriend? It's like, just go over there, help him get the poison out. OP says, well, maybe I should have packed his fleshlight for him, Axton. Why the hell does he need a fleshlight when he's got you? Oh, Axton, you've just lost points in my book.
Naughty.
OP, I'm pretty sure he prefers the fleshlight since it doesn't talk, and the last time he even attempted to do anything with me, he was too plastered. Snorlax, Whiskey Wang, OP, bingo. Axton.
That is criminally negligent. Do you need a hug?
I laughed. Funky's negligence in that department was really the least of my worries. OP says, it's fine. The whiskey wang let me off the hook, but I'm not going to turn down a hug. And then right at that moment, Funky walks in with a sawed-off shotgun. Pa-pow! Pa-pow!
Alakablam!
No, that's not what happened. I crawled over to him and let his arms envelop me. As I had been starved for affection for over a year, this was better than sex. Underneath the general aura of cigarette smoke and whiskey that permeated the room, I could smell his skin. And it was intoxicating. And he didn't smell like some headache-inducing facsimile of a frou-frou flower factory, so I nestled into that rare, delicate balance of euphoria and tranquility until we heard the back door open and close. Axton and I scrambled the opposite corners of the room, but it was just Maury.
What the hell are you two doing?
COP knows it's wrong, Axton knows it's wrong, but if being wrong feels like this, I don't want to be right. Maury is grinning mischievously and says, what did I walk in on? Athena, nothing that would excite you, Maury. Maury approached me and sat down. I think he's chilled out. Right now, he just needs to know that you're not mad at him. Are you up for going to talk to him? I blinked. I am mad at him. I'm embarrassed, and anything I say to him is just gonna piss him off. Plus, I was high as a frickin' kite on Adderall and affection. Just let me think about it for a minute. I considered a novel approach. After the puke-inducing fight that he'd had with Maury the night before, they had made peace. I decided that I would mimic Maury's actions and try to call a truce with as few words as possible, which would ideally prevent Funky from wasting hours playing the victim and assassinating my character. I mean, after a certain point, who even believes him? He's assassinating his own character. OP says, okay, I'll let him know that it's chill. That's really all I can do. Maury nodded, and I headed for the back door and stepped onto the porch. OP, Funky? He grunted. He was sitting, slumped in a chair on the porch, sucking on his long cigarette holder. I moved around so that I was standing in front of him, and I offered my hand. OP, peace? Funky grunted again.
I'm humiliated, Pixie. And you laughed at me. In my darkest moment, you laughed at me. How could you?
I mean, come on, Funky. You do have to admit, you are a pretty laughable caricature of a human being, are you not? OP says, I thought it was all a joke. I'm trying to figure out how to be a part of the team and to do that without making you mad. I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. You really should have warned me about all of the... Funky cutting me off.
From now on, you only talk to Athena and Sage. No talking to any of the single dudes.
Jesus God, are you that insecure?
How are you this insecure? How are you this insecure? I guess because cheaters are always looking for cheaters. They're projecting onto the other person everything that they do. At this point, Funky was pointing his cigarette at me and emphasizing the keywords with a little jab of the cherry in my direction. OP says, that's not reasonable. Would you prefer it if I just left? How am I supposed to play if I'm not allowed to talk to half of the people on the team? Or the GM? Funky.
Then you only talk about game-related stuff. And Maury's junk doesn't go anywhere near you. You glitch, you kiss Athena, nothing else. You don't share beer with Snorlax, and you don't so much as look at pretty boy Axton.
Oh my god, dude. The game wasn't even fun before, but somehow you're making it even less fun than it was. Do I prefer the pee jars and the puking debauchery? Not really. But it is better than this controlling, insecure narcissist. OP says, if it's game-related stuff, Axton's the one that I need to be talking to the most. You talk to Snorlax when we're planning an attack. Funky.
That's different.
OP, how? Funky.
Because Snorlax isn't trying to get in my pants. I thought you were smart enough not to get all mushy over some pretty boy. But you obviously hate yourself enough to actually like his douchey attentions. Don't tell me you haven't noticed that he stares at you like he wants to mount you.
I mean, at this point, I'm suspecting that OP would like to be mounted. I can't even call him out for being wrong here, I guess. So much for a succinct truce, says OP. I decide to try and steer the conversation in a different direction. OP, I'm being serious, just like you asked me to be. I tagged along this weekend so I could try and have fun, learning to play this game that you love so much. I extended my hand more fervently. Peace? Funky.
Swear to me that you won't so much as look at that jizz-mopping pretty boy.
He is not getting the point of this at all, is he? OP. Only if you swear to me that some girl didn't come over here to get mounted by you last night. The visible part of Funky's face went white. How stupid do you think chicks are, dude? They're like so socially aware, it's ridiculous. OP says, look, it is what it is. But if you get to receive booty calls here, then I'm allowed to interact with your friends, even the ones with Y chromosomes. The beard grunted dismissively and muttered,
That's different.
yeah, it's always different, isn't it? Different for you. Rules for thee, not for me. At least he was no longer snarling and shouting, and that was about as good as it was gonna get. I went back inside and took my seat, shaking off my failed attempt at a succinct truce. I'm proud of you for holding the line there, OP, and throwing that back in his face. You kept that card in your back pocket for the right moment, and then blammo! OP. Well, he had some unreasonable demands. I refused them, but I think he's calm enough to play again. No promises. Funky slammed the back door and trudged back to his assigned seat. Maury. Axton and Sage. Please trade places. Funky.
Why? Do you think I'm gonna?
Maury held up his magic, funky silencing hand and said, My run. My rules. I mean, whatever Funky was gonna say, yeah, he probably was gonna also do. I think it's wise to have a degree of separation between these two people. This one person and one beard. It was Funky's role at this point, and it wound up being successful. Very successful! As he entered the media station, a swarm of heavily armed guards surrounded him, but he managed to obliterate all of them, wielding a sword in one hand and an SMG with homing bullets in the other. This might have just been the thing we all needed to calm his ass down. Maury. Show of hands from those who consider this an epic success. We all voted affirmatively. Maury. Then my assistant GM shall prepare the finest tincture in the land for our supreme street samurai, Funky P Beard. Yeah, I guess it'll sate him for the moment, but he's gonna bounce back in the worst way, I just know it. Sage soon returned with a shot of Johnny Walker Blue. Funky sniffed it deeply, toasted to the team, cheers, and slugged it all back in one gulp. I thought that beverage was meant to be sipped and savored, but what the hell do I know? I believe I even saw a small smile on Funky's face, although it was hard to tell underneath that bushy behemoth of a beard. Oh, trust me, he's loving it. I exhaled and felt myself relax as much as I could, with the Adderall fueling my wakefulness. I planned a super sick, albeit risky, complex action. I rolled, I got hit with tar, baby. That was a giga glitch. Oh no, I don't know what we're talking about, but it sounds bad. Funky looked over at me with menacing eyes. Maury had promised to spare the rod upon my next glitch, but I wasn't entirely sure I believed him, so I decided to do what I could try to do in order to prevent another fight. Maury. OP, come accept a staff punishment. OP, Game Master, sir? Funky, our epically successful samurai, suggested to me that I should kiss Athena instead of kissing your staff, as long as she's cool with it. I glanced uncertainly at Athena. She was giggling. Good, I hadn't offended her. I also glanced nervously at Sage. He was grinning from ear to ear. Good, I hadn't offended him either. Maury pretended to ponder and then said,
Acceptable. You shall kiss for 15 seconds. Assistant GM, you keep time.
Sage, no way, dude. I'm watching.
I'm into that shit.
Snorlax, I'll do it. No promise I'll keep my eyes on the timer, though. Funky growled at him. What do you want? It's been the only halfway enjoyable part of this show so far. Athena and I turned to each other, trying to keep from laughing. This was nothing new to me. I'd kissed girls on stage, at theater parties, during games of truth or dare, and I was confident that this wouldn't anger Funky in the slightest. If anything, it might put him in a better mood. Snorlax, 3, 2, kiss. Everything was fine at first. Athena was giggling, which made me giggle, but we kept our lips locked. Then, after only a few seconds, she seemed to vanish. I opened my eyes and saw that Funky had grabbed her, pulled her away, and was now dragging her to the corner of the war room near the staircase. Dude, what? This was your idea! Funky,
You wicked thunder, see you next Tuesday. How dare you kiss my girlfriend?
in truth, that had been my first kiss in a very, very long time. And it had felt silly and innocent. I was baffled by Funky's fury. With an almost feline stride, Sage crossed the room and put Funky in a chokehold, causing the beard to lose his grip on Athena. She quickly scurried away from the IRL combat. Funky was screeching and furiously thrashing about, but Sage was putting his jujitsu skills to very good use. There was no way that Funky was going to free himself. I love this. This is what should have happened in the garage in the last episode. Oh wait, it was only Snorlax and Axton in there. But hot damn, man, shout out to Sage for protecting his lady like this. You'll love to see it. Funky.
LP, you're a demented hussy. I know you've been hooking up with Axton. I know you and Maury been snorting coke off each other's asses, and now you're kissing girls too. I should make you.
He withered to the ground. Silence fell over the war room. Maury.
So, you want to go snort coke off my ass?
That's good shit right there. I'm gonna need every last drop of this.
I laughed. I'm good with the Addy, Maury, but thank you. I glanced over at Axton and he raised his eyebrows, perhaps silently making the follow-up to Maury's joke. I felt the corner of my mouth involuntarily turn upwards. Was I misreading this? That was entirely possible, but I decided to enjoy the delusion while it lasted. Yeah, he just went down. He's still breathing. He got like 10, 15 seconds probably. His brain is rebooting. Alas, the beard stirred. Sage was still in full attack mode, and Athena stood by at a safe distance. I crossed the war room and asked if Funky had hurt her. She shook her head. Athena, no, I'm fine. I just don't want another fight to break out. OP, I'm so sorry. I had no idea he'd get mad about that. Athena, right? What's wrong with him? I thought all guys like to watch girls kiss. Well, not all, but a very large percentage. OP, I think he's just jealous because he can't kiss. Athena looked puzzled for a moment and then said, oh, the beard. Yeah, that would definitely get in the way. Maury made his way over to a defeated Funky and an enraged Sage. Maury,
Gentlemen, shall we take a break from the planning phase and settle this score with some PvP?
Sage, no, we're not settling this in game. Funky called my girlfriend a horrible name. He physically attacked her. Athena, I'm fine, babe. Can we just please play without Funky for a while? Sage, okay. Maybe he didn't hurt her, but he definitely crossed the line. Maury,
I agree. There should be consequences.
Yes, exile. Ostracization. Funky P no longer stands for funky penis. It stands for funky pariah. Get out of my house. Sage, no dong smacks or looking at your butt pucker or sitting in your laps as punishment this time. Actions have natural consequences. The natural consequences are that he scared my girlfriend, he embarrassed his girlfriend, and he pissed me the fuck off. And he disrupted our game, so I hope the rest of you are all pissed off too. Yeah, actually, I don't care about the game all that much. He laid his hands on another human being. He's a rabid dog. If putting the boots to him didn't work, then you know what we gotta do. He's my dog, I'll do it. Before anyone could answer, Funky played the victim and pretended to cry over Sage choking him out after he grabbed Athena and called her that awful name. Nobody cared. And well, they shouldn't. It is scary to get knocked out for the first time. Like, whoa, silence and darkness and no control over my body. That's crazy. But if you 100% had it coming, yeah, good. I'm glad that it happened. Tell me that you learned something from it. He didn't. Once he realized he wasn't getting any sympathy, he began to rage about being forced to watch his girlfriend cuck him. And how he was being made to feel like
he wasn't manly enough since he was offended by the sight of two girls kissing.
Oh, he's the one in like the tiniest fraction of a percent that doesn't like it. Mora used the magic funky silencing hand and invited the rest of us to express our grievances, of which I'm sure there are many. He also challenged Funky to take it all in without verbally or physically attacking anyone. Yeah, sometimes you hear things from other people and it really hurts, but it's your own ego trying to protect you from what they're saying. You need to look deep down in there and see if there's like a kernel of truth that you can extrapolate and apply to yourself. Getting offended doesn't help anyone grow. It doesn't help you learn as a person. At this point, Snorlax offered Funky some weed to help him calm down, and Funky launched into an irrational tirade about how much he hated drugs, and he also mocked Snorlax for his weight, which just isn't cool. If your personality sucks, your physical appearance is game for mockery. Otherwise, it's just rude. Plus, Snorlax is a cute, chubby guy. They do exist. I don't know if I'm as chubby as Snorlax, but yeah, I'm gonna toot my own horn on that one. Beep, beep. And I think those are good rules. I try not to go after people's looks unless they've proven to me that their personality's garbage. And then, I don't know, it's all fair game. Axton basically told Funky that he needed to take the stick out of his ass, and Funky barked out some more accusations of lust. In the middle of these accusations, he referred to me as his property and declared that I was too shallow and female to make my own decisions. Great. Awesome. This is all going really well. Axton clenched his fists and took a few steps toward Funky, but Mori intervened and gave a very flowery speech about going outside and letting the fresh air carry away the aggression. Snorlax followed Axton outside, merrily carrying a bong. I love Snorlax, dude. The whole thing wrapped up when I said, I'm not your property. I agreed to be your partner once upon a time, but this isn't a healthy partnership. I'm out. I'm done trying to be a girlfriend to someone who thinks so little of me. This was far from the first time that I had delivered this speech to Funky, so I essentially had it memorized. Of course, it never hit the way that I hoped it would. I mean, you'd hope that having a peer group around you would make it hit home a little harder, but I don't think Funky has the self-awareness for all that. Funky was not contrite. He didn't seem sad to lose me. He seemed, as always, righteously angry over having a possession confiscated. But insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, so I turned around and added, in a tone that was as menacing as I could make it, "You're not a good man, Funky. Or maybe you are in the fucked up alternate universe that you live in, but you're not a good man for me. I'm done taking all your shit." I pivoted and went to join Axton and Snorlax on the porch. Athena whispered, "Good for you, girl," as she followed me out, leaving the principal and vice principal to deal with this delinquent. He absolutely, this is the end of the game group? Is this how it all comes crashing down? I wish I could say I was more upset about it, but good. Now everybody's free to live like a normal human being again. A lot of commotion ensued in the corner of the war room after Funky muttered a very offensive term for lesbian at Athena as she exited. Maury tried to physically restrain Sage in order to keep him from beating the tar out of Funky. Alas, Maury was not much of a match, and Sage's fists got dangerously close to Funky's face. And Maury apparently got a little excited while attempting to restrain his assistant GM. So the target of Sage's rage quickly shifted from the beard to the game master. Loud, colorful words filled the air, and Athena closed the door on all that hullabaloo. Yeah, they'll sort it out. It's not something we need to deal with, okay? Break out some of that sticky icky and let's go to the moon. The bong was bubbling away and the sweet, skunky scent of ganj filled the air. Snorlax, want a hit? OP? No, I feel like I might have to dash any minute now if Funky keeps up his temper tantrum, so I need to keep my head clear. Axton,
You're not leaving with him, are you?
OP, hell no! I got my car here and he is not coming with me if I feel like it's time for me to ghost. Axton,
Is there any way we can vote his ass off the island and convince you to stay?
aw, it is a very sweet offer, isn't it? But the truth is, you guys are all degenerates. I don't think I want to play this game anymore. You want to go to the movies or something? You can get some popcorn and a soda, have a real nice time? My idea of a nice time is much more vanilla than yours, I think. I cautiously approached the bench where Axton and Snorlax were sharing the bubbler. They shifted a little to make room for me, and I sat down next to a still shirtless Axton. Athena pulled up a chair next to us on the bench, took a tiny flask from the pocket of her PJs, and slugged back a few sips of liquid tranquility. OP, for the sake of other people on the road, I would not let his drunk ass get behind the wheel. Does Sage have like a soundproof basement or something where we could lock him up? Athena, I wish. Axton unapologetically threw his arm around my shoulder, and I brazenly laced my fingers through his. I mean, it's a pretty quick rebound, but you know what? You gone through hell. Whatever helps you find some solace, good for you. This is one of those situations where when it's completely laid out, I mean, cheating doesn't sound like the craziest thing. Athena, OP, why did you start dating Funky? That might be a bit too personal. OP, nah, it's fine. Believe it or not, he was really sweet at first. He thinks I keep pulling away from him because he's too nice, but let's just say that he and I have very different definitions of nice. Yeah, it always starts out with the love bombing, doesn't it? Snorlax says, maybe I'm just high, but like, I think he was pretty chill when we first formed the team. Axton,
I didn't join till last year, so I've only ever known him as a raging psycho.
OP, you're both right. That's his MO. He is nice and normal until he has secured his place. Before I had the chance to fully explain Funky's uncanny ability to simulate sanity, only to reveal the irascible tyrant lurking beneath the obsequious mask, Sage and Maury stepped onto the porch, with Funky trailing dejectedly behind them. Maury, we've decided to wrap it up for the night, so feel free to get drunk as hell or smoke weed, snort coke off each other's asses, party like rock stars. We'll reconvene at noon tomorrow. But fucking Funky lifted his head and roared,
You're cheating on me again?
Dude, like you even give a damn, just call up the chick that was here last night. It's fine. It's all over. Let it go. OP says, I told you, Funky, I'm out. I quit. We're done. And you hate my living guts. So what the hell do you even care? Funky,
I didn't agree to that, so we're still together.
Sage,
That's not how breakups work, Funky.
Funky,
Whatever. She cheated on me with everyone, except you, Sage. You're actually the only one I trust, but OP's still a slut.
well, those are some pretty heavy accusations to level there, Funky. What proof might you have of that? Oh, nothing. OP says, when? When have I cheated on you? And who the fuck are you to be talking? Funky.
You let Maury put his dog on your face.
OP. Yeah, so did literally everyone here. Maury.
Hell, I'd put it on my own face if I were flexible enough.
Funky.
I'm still talking. You also stuck your hand in Maury's butt crack, and you shared a beer with Snorlax, and you kissed Athena, and now you're sitting there canoodling with Pretty Boy in front of everyone. Cheater.
Canoodling? Oh my goodness, how uncouth. How does an alpha male gentleman think he could get away with saying the word canoodling? That sent me more than anything in this whole story this time. It's hilarious. Maury threw his arm around Funky.
Is this a good canoodle? Or is your noodle still limp?
Funky shrugged him off.
It's the intention, Maury.
Maury hugged Funky around the waist.
Okay, suppose I'm imagining going to Pound Town with you right now.
He added a few demonstrative pelvic thrusts.
Does that mean we've hooked up?
Funky flailed about until Maury let go of him, bellowed some barely intelligible insults towards everyone, made some random animal noises, and stomped back in the house. As much as I hated to see my new friends on the receiving end of his wrath, I don't think I would have ever been able to effectively stand up to him without 5 witnesses to his bizarre behavior who miraculously had my back despite having a long history of friendship or at least association with Funky. You see, they didn't really know the depths of his depravity until you showed up, OP. Despite the weird things that they get into, the strange games they've decided to play, they are all decent human beings deep down. They might have just met you, but their human connection to you is far more than it is to Funky, because Funky, he really has no humanity. He's just like a shell of a human being that walks around being angry about bullshit all the time. Self-loathing, insecure narcissist. It's the most dangerous kind. OP says, I had tried to discuss our problems with my close friends in the past, but Funky would always be on his best behavior in front of them, so I always wound up looking like the asshole. It took the presence of people with whom he felt comfortable enough to stomp around sans mask in order to gather witnesses to the insanity. And gather them I had. I was free. Like free for real? Probably. OP's learned her lesson about getting sucked back in with this dude, and I think that's beautiful. They all came together in a moment of need and, yeah, had OP's back when she needed it the most. I may have judged these degenerates too harshly. Although, if I could be excessively frank, I do still find them all to be degenerates. You're good people, but I still don't know if we could kick it. But you know who I do like kicking it with? Viewers of the ReddX channel. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Like, comment, subscribe on the video if you did enjoy it. We're going to keep this thing rolling along soon enough. In the meantime, please enjoy some Firefighter Mike. That's a nice derpy Neckbeard story to bring you down from this. I think you'll love it. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be